I hope everybody can hear me, everybody can see me.
जी अंकल,
सारी संगत को, बॉस्टन संगत को, सारी दुनिया की संगत को, गुरुजी को मेरा प्रणाम. Thank you for inviting me for this satsang. जैसे आपने कहा, मैं गुरुजी के साथ बहुत देर से जुड़ा हूँ और बहुत प्रिविलेज समझता हूँ कि मैं ऐसे गुरुजी के साथ इतनी अर्ली स्टेज पे लिंक हो गया. गुरुजी का मुझे हुक्म था कि मेरे को 1000 बार अपना सत्संग सुनाना है और मैं बहुत ब्लेस्ड हूँ कि एक और मुझे मौका दिया जा रहा है आज प्यारी संगत को अपना सत्संग सुनाने के लिए. और मैं तृप्ता कपूर आंटी जिन्होंने मेरे साथ कोऑर्डिनेट किया, उनका बहुत बहुत शुक्राना करना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने ये मुझे ब्लेसिंग्स दिलवाई गुरुजी से इस सत्संग कराने के लिए. मैं गुरुजी के साथ 1995 से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ. मैं तब एयरफोर्स में एक ग्रुप कैप्टन होता था और in 1995 I had a bad attack of hepatitis B. हेपेटाइटिस बी का तब भी कोई इलाज नहीं था, आज भी कोई इलाज नहीं है, प्रिवेंशन है, मगर हेपेटाइटिस बी is a very bad form of jaundice and it can be life threatening. और मुझे 1995 में जब हेपेटाइटिस बी हुआ था तो मेरा बिलीरुबिन काउंट 22 हो गया था. जैसे आप सब जानते हैं कि ये काउंट अगर मोर देन 12 हो जाए तो इट इज़ वेरी लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग. और मेरा जब काउंट इस हाई फिगर पे गया तो मैं आरआर में दिल्ली कैंट में मेरी ट्रीटमेंट हो रही थी. हालांकि मैं घर पे ही था, मगर मुझको उन्होंने DI लिस्ट पे डाल दिया था. DI लिस्ट मतलब डेंजरसली इल, यानी कि किसी समय भी आप को कुछ भी हो सकता है. So under these conditions, the allopathic doctors told me that there is no, medical solution with us. So go ahead and try any alternate therapy that you would want to do. तो मैंने बहुत तरह की alternate therapies शुरू कर दी और जिसमें एक कलर थेरेपी थी, एक केरला के 1000 दाना खिलाते थे कच्चे दूध के अंदर डाल के, और फिर आयुर्वेदा, एक्यूपंक्चर, एक्यूप्रेशर, किसी ने कहा नारायणा में कोई एक स्वामी है वो जो गले में माला डाल देते हैं. मैंने सब कुछ किया और नथिंग वाज वर्किंग. 1 महीना हो गया था, मेरा बिलीरुबिन काउंट इतने हाई फिगर पे था. और तभी मेरे यहाँ पे हमारे एक एयर मार्शल थे, हमारे सीनियर, उनकी वाइफ वो गुरुजी से जुड़ी हुई थी जलंधर से. और इनफैक्ट मॉडल टाउन में उनका घर और गुरुजी का आश्रम बहुत नज़दीक था. तो उन्होंने कहा कि एक गुरुजी आए हैं दिल्ली में पहली बार और वो लोगों को हील करते हैं, वो ब्लेसिंग्स देते हैं, क्या आप इसमें इंटरेस्टेड होगे? तो मैंने इंस्टेंटली कहा कि मैं जरूर जाऊंगा. तो वो कहने लगी कि आज ही शाम को हम जाएंगे. वो ग्रेटर कैलाश में उन्होंने अपना आश्रम बनाया है. तो मैं उसी शाम को हम 8 बजे के करीब वहाँ से ग्रेटर कैलाश गए. डॉक्टर्स ने मुझे खास कहा था कि मैं अपने बेड से भी ना हिलूं, अदरवाइज इट कैन बी रिस्की. बट यहाँ पे इट वाज मीनिंग 12-15 किलोमीटर की दूरी मुझको ट्रेवल करना पड़ रहा था, पर मैं गया. गुरुजी का आश्रम ग्रेटर कैलाश में एक बेसमेंट में था और मैं जब बेसमेंट में सीढ़ियाँ 7-8 सीढ़ियाँ उतरनी थी और सामने मैंने देखा कि गुरुजी आश्रम में लोग बैठे हुए हैं और सामने गुरुजी अपने सिंहासन पे बैठे. तो मैं गुरुजी की तरफ वॉक करने लगा. अराउंड 45 सेकेंड्स टू अ मिनट की ये वॉक थी और क्योंकि कुछ लोग भी थे बीच में. और मैंने जब गुरुजी के पाँव छुए तो गुरुजी ने इंस्टेंटली अपना हाथ मेरे सिर पे रखा और कहा, चल चोपड़ा, तेनू ठीक कर देता है, तेरा कल्याण हो गया. सो इट वाज इंस्टेंट. एंड I felt very happy from the heart and felt very blessed. और फिर मुझको जैसे बोला गया, मैं एक साइड में जाके वॉल के साथ बैक लगा के बैठ गया। उसके बाद 5 मिनट के बाद गुरुजी ने अमृत बनाना शुरू किया। और गुरुजी अमृत कैसे बनता था पुरानी संगत सब जानती है, मगर जो लोग नहीं जानते तो एक स्टील के जो टम्बलर्स हैं उनके अंदर उनके सेवादार पानी की ट्रेस भर के लाते थे। गुरुजी के पास एक चंदन की माला थी, उस माला से गुरुजी कुछ उस माला को पानी में डालते थे, मंत्र बोलते थे और साथ में वो ग्लास जो अब अमृत बन चुका होता था उसको गुरुजी दे देते थे, जिसको भी देना ठीक समझते थे। तो गुरुजी ने जब अमृत बनाया तो सबसे पहला ग्लास अमृत का मुझे दिया। मैंने उस ग्लास को पिया, उसके बाद औरों को देते रहे, मगर जो मेरा ग्लास खत्म होता था तो वे मेरे को एक और ग्लास दे देते थे। ऐसे उन्होंने उस शाम को मुझे 8 टम्बलर्स अमृत के पिलाए। और देखिए 250 ml का ग्लास होता है या टम्बलर होता है, तो पानी पीना आसान नहीं है, 8 ग्लास पीना। मगर मैंने वो 8 ग्लास पिए, विच वॉज एब्सोल्युटली अमृत। एंड उसके बाद थोड़ा समय गुजर गया, भजन होते गए, चाय प्रसाद आया वगैरह सब कुछ हुआ, और फिर लंगर शुरू हुआ। उस जमाने में लंगर जल्दी शुरू होता था, लोग भी लंगर में कम लंगर करते थे। सभी लोग जो आते थे सब लंगर के लिए नहीं रुकते थे, कुछ लोगों को गुरुजी पहले ही भेज देते थे। तो फिर भी जब मैं वहाँ शुरू में गया तो कम से कम 100 के करीब लोग लंगर करते थे। तो जब लंगर शुरू हुआ तो जो वो लेडी मेरे को लेके आई थी, एयर मार्शल की वाइफ थी, और उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि वो डॉक्टर भी थी, और उन्होंने कहा कि एज अ डॉक्टर मैं बता दूं कि अब लंगर शुरू हो रहा है, कि आपके लिए यह लंगर बिल्कुल क्लियर नहीं है मेडिकल प्रोफेशन की तरफ से, मगर डिसीजन इज योर्स। मैंने कहा मैं खाऊंगा। तो लंगर जब आया तो मैंने लंगर, तब लंगर की प्लेट में एक जने के लिए आता था लंगर, तो मैंने लंगर खाना शुरू किया। सॉरी। तो गुरुजी आके मेरे पास खड़े हो गए। जब उन्होंने देखा कि मैं अपनी दूसरी रोटी खा ली तो गुरुजी ने एक और रोटी अपने हाथ से मेरे को दे दी, उन्होंने कहा ये भी खा ले। अब उस जमाने में आज भी शायद देसी घी लगा होता था रोटी के ऊपर। मैंने तीसरी रोटी खाई। उसके बाद गुरुजी ने कहा चल चोपड़ा हूं तू जा, हूं तू परसों आई मगर टेस्ट करा के आई, फिर मैनू दसी कि तेरे ते गुरुजी दा कल्याण होया कि नहीं होया। सो वी लेफ्ट, इट वाज अराउंड 10 o'clock और सो। हम चले गए। अगले दिन मेरा ब्लड टेस्ट हुआ, उसके एक दिन बाद रिजल्ट आना था, और उसी दिन मेरे को गुरुजी के यहाँ जाना था। यू वॉन्ट बिलीव इट कि जब वो रिजल्ट आया तो मेरा बिलिरुबिन काउंट स्टीपली डाउन हो चुका था फ्रॉम 22। I was so happy, I was so blessed, और I was so excited now जब I was to go उस दिन शाम को जब यहाँ गुरुजी के जाना था। तो मेरे साथ मेरी वाइफ भी गई उस दिन, जो पहले दिन नहीं गई थी। तो जो हम आश्रम में सीढ़ियाँ से उतरे तो गुरुजी ने दूर से ही खड़े हो गए, कहा सुमन आंटी आ गई हैं, आजा, दैट इज माय वाइफ्स नेम, आजा तेरी मैं फाइल खोल देना। सो गुरुजी ने मेरी वाइफ की फाइल खोल दी, और फाइल का मतलब है कि उन्होंने उनके बारे में ऐसी चीज़ें बताई जो आम पब्लिक को मालूम नहीं होती है। जैसे आजकल कहते हैं कि फेसबुक को और गूगल को सब कुछ हमारे बारे में मालूम है, तो हमारे लिए उस टाइम गुरुजी फेसबुक और गूगल से भी एक बड़े इंसान थे, और उन्होंने मेरी वाइफ के बारे में ऐसी चीज़ें बता दी जो nobody outside will know, and all those 10-12 things that he said were absolutely correct. तो जब गुरुजी ने पूछा मेरे से कि कितना बिलिरुबिन काउंट हो गया, तो मैंने बताया, कहते चल हम तो देख हजे अगे की होना है। Anyway, we thereafter started coming to Guruji more and more often. Every time you came on the date and time that Guruji had specifically told you, and things were happening very, very quickly. And one of the days, Guruji said, "Hun tera test kadon hai?" मैं क्या गुरुजी कल है कहते कल नु तेरा ना बिलुरुबिन काउंट 3 होना है मैं क्या गुरुजी नहीं नहीं 3 नहीं बहुत नीचे होगा बिकॉज जिस रेट पे नीचे आ रहा है अभी तो 1 से भी बिलो चले जाएगा कहने नहीं कोई गल नहीं टेस्ट करा ले फिर आके दसी एंड यू वोंट बिलीव इट व्हेन आई गॉट द टेस्ट डन it was 3. Now you see how the whole faith and the entire bonding was getting built between me and Guruji, which is a bonding which has remained ever since and will remain forever. Now, while my satsang was going on, whatever I'm going to narrate to you today, मैं सिर्फ वही सत्संग सुनाऊंगा जो मैंने I am an eyewitness to. I will not. There are thousands of satsangs which we all have heard or read in the various books that have been published, but I will tell you only those satsangs which have either happened to me or to people I was an eyewitness to. So, in the same period that I was going through my, bilirubin and my hepatitis B, there was a parallel satsang happening. There was one major general from the army who had gone for his annual medical to the base hospital, and during the medical they found that he had 100% blockage of his heart. Now, those days, Escorts Hospital had just come up a few years earlier, and he was advised to get his heart checked in detail from Escorts Hospital. And when he went there, वहाँ पे भी उन्होंने कहा कि ये आपका 100% ब्लॉकेज है और आपको हमने एडवाइस करते हैं कि आप बाईपास सर्जरी कराइए. Bypass surgery used to be a big thing those days. People were scared to do such a surgery. मगर फिर भी वो उन्होंने मेजर जनरल ने गवर्नमेंट से एप्लीकेशन डाल के जो भी उस जमाने में गवर्नमेंट देती थी वो पैसा लेके एस्कॉर्ट्स में अपना बाईपास के लिए डेट बुक कर दिया. तो अभी जब उन्होंने डेट बुक किया तो 1 हफ्ता अभी पड़ा था, तो उनके रिश्तेदार फैमिली मेंबर्स सब इकट्ठे होने शुरू हुए जो आउट स्टेशन भी थे, बिकॉज दे ऑल वर कंसर्न कि एक बाईपास होने वाला है फैमिली के अंदर. तो इन्हीं दिनों में जब अभी 1 हफ्ता पड़ा हुआ है इस बाईपास ऑपरेशन के लिए, किसी ने उनको बताया कि एक गुरुजी आए और वो गुरुजी हील करते हैं. सो अंडर दिस सर्कमस्टांसेस देयर वाज अ फैमिली डिस्कशन और जनरल साहब ने कहा कि नहीं मैं ये गुरु शुरू से बिलीव नहीं करता, मैं साइंटिफिक एविडेंस है, 2 बड़े अस्पतालों ने मुझे बोल दिया है कि मेरे को बाईपास कराना है तो मैं बाईपास कराऊंगा. तो फिर 1 दिन और गुजर गया, फिर किसी ने बोला बाबा आपको यहाँ पे कोई फीस थोड़ी देनी है, कोई अपॉइंटमेंट थोड़ी ले रहे हो, आप जाइए गुरुजी के यहाँ पे और ब्लेसिंग ले लीजिए, कुछ भी नहीं होगा तो आप तो ऑपरेशन कराने ही वाले हैं. तो अंडर दीज सर्कमस्टांसेस this general and his family, they come to Guruji, and Guruji listens to the problem and then says ki ithe baitho. And after some time he tells the general to go into his chamber and say go and lie down. And meanwhile he asks somebody to bring pan ka patta, and pan ke patte khub sare laake. Guruji goes into the chamber, puts it on his chest, blesses the general and asks him to lie there for next 20 minutes. And after that, he sends somebody, General Sahab ko bula laiye, wapas bahar aa jaye. And then he tells him, Guruji tells him, aapko maine theek kar diya. You have been cured. You are blessed. You have no heart problem now. You have 0 blockage. This is what Guruji told. Now, when Guruji is saying all this, I happen to be on my 2nd or 3rd visit for my own hepatitis case, which I was mentioning a little earlier. So the general is confused, and Guruji says, General Sahab, aap फौज के बड़े अफसर हो, आप लोग पढ़े लिखे लोग हो, आप तसल्ली कराना, गुरुओं की बातें मत सुनो ऐसे, जाके satisfy yourself. So the general goes, and then he goes to back to Noida. And then next day, they all go to Escort's hospital. Who's there in Escort hospital? Dr. Trehan. He's the one who had, set up that hospital those days. Now, of course, he's running another complex. तो उन्होंने जब डॉक्टर त्रेहन को अप्रोच किया तो डॉक्टर त्रेहन इनिशियली लाफ्ड. ही सेज, क्या बात कर रहे हो आप लोग, एक पढ़े लिखे लोग ऐसी कैसे बात करते हो. तो इन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, आप हमारा टेस्ट करा लो. ही सेड इट्स एन एक्सपेंसिव टेस्ट. 10,000 रुपया. उस जमाने में 10,000 बड़ा अमाउंट होता था. उन्होंने कहा 10,000 रुपया लगेगा. तो दे इंसिस्टेड. तो दे डिड अ टेस्ट एंड यू वॉन्ट टू बिलीव इट, द हार्ट ब्लॉकेज इंडिकेटेड नाउ वाज 0. So they got very confused. They said, we want to do a double check. So they did another test to satisfy them. And उनको पता लगा कि अब तो यहाँ blockage 0 है. So finally they didn't even take the money for either of the two tests that they had done. और उन्होंने कहा, हमें बताओ ये गुरुजी कौन है, कहाँ है. And all these doctors, they came to Guruji, Dr. Trehan included. And thereafter, they all became, bhagats of Guruji, and have been so till date. So I have told you two, medical cases of how Guruji cured me, how he cured this general. Hereafter, our interaction my personal interaction with Guruji was very personal. I used to be posted at different places, and wherever I was, whenever I came, even for a short while, I would go to Guruji, and Guruji will make me sit next to his, singhasan or chair, whatever you call it. And then I would feel extremely blessed. My whole family would go with me, and we would really enjoy the bhajans, the chai prasad, the langar, etc., etc. Now, I will tell you some other facets of Guruji. Once, since I was a pilot, and there was one or two other friends of mine who were pilots, were also Guruji's bhagats. So one day, one of them, who was then commanding one of the flights of the communications squadron, the VVIP squadron, he said, we are planning a training flight towards Jalandhar, and we were thinking it's a good idea. We do the training flight and also go and take blessings of Guruji. So I said, fantastic, great idea. I would love to be part of such a trip. And so a day was fixed. A day in advance, we sent a message through some bhagat to Guruji that we are planning to come like that, and we'd be there. Just like that we mentioned, not that we had to tell this to Guruji. And then next morning, when we went to the aircraft at 8 o'clock, the weather was very bad. It was winters, I think month of February. And the visibility wouldn't clear up. And those days, the navigation aids were not so good as they are today. So the visibility had to really clear up for us to take off. And then finally, we, instead of 8 o'clock, we took off at around 12:30 or so. We landed in Adampur at 1:30 or 1:45. Then from there, we took a vehicle, went to Guruji's ashram in Defense Colony in Jalandhar. And when we reached there, Guruji was resting in his chamber, and हमने जाके वहाँ पे 2-4 संगत थी. वहाँ पे गुरुजी का आश्रम सारा टाइम खुला ही रहता था जलंधर में. तो हम जाके भी बैठ गए. जो 4-5 लोग वहाँ बैठे थे, कह रहे थे, आप लोग कौन हो? हमने तो बताया, हम तो ऐसे दिल्ली से आ रहे हैं जहाज से. ओ हो, कह रहे, गुरुजी तो सवेर से आपकी बातें कर रहे हैं कि आने वाले हो, आप लोग अभी इतना लेट कैसे हो गए? तो anyway, we told them what the problem was. And then finally, Guruji came out of his chamber around 4 o'clock. He knew that we were outside. So first thing he said, you say, any der kyun kar deti? Why did you take so long? Anyway, so we explained to him what happened. He said, theek hai, bajo. So anyway, some conversations carried on. Now, winters, the days are small. And when we landed in Adampur Air Base, we were told ki the cutoff for us to take off is 6 o'clock in the evening, and after that they will not have the lighting facilities for whatever technical operational reasons. So we said fine, so we will come back. So if we were to take off at 6 means हमको 5 बजे गुरुजी के आश्रम से निकलना था. तो 4:45 बजे मैंने घड़ी देखनी शुरू कर दी. मैंने कहा अभी कैसे गुरुजी की परमिशन लेंगे, गुरुजी हमें जाने देंगे नहीं जाने देंगे. तो गुरुजी ने मुझको देख लिया घड़ी देखते हुए. तो गुरुजी ने कहा, ओए घड़ी ना देखो, पहला इन्नी लेट आंदे हो फिर हुण घड़ियां देखदे हो. So I shut up and I said, नहीं गुरुजी, there's nothing like that and we are okay. So उसके बाद फिर चलता रहा, चाय प्रसाद वगैरह चला जो भी. 8 o'clock. Now, we were thinking we will have langar, aram se, late night we will go back and then morning take off back for Delhi. 8 o'clock, Guruji, tells some sevadar and some sevadar brings some things on the tray. So he gives one sari for my wife and one for that other officer who's with me, his wife. And then he gives 2 boxes of laddus to both of us and say, "Hun tusi jao." ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆ ਗਏ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਾਂ we will not go back because we can't go back to Delhi in any case. He said नहीं ਤੁਸੀਂ जाओ. Guru ji says means it's an order, so we just left and then we reached Adampur around 9 o'clock and when we reached Adampur, believe you me, the base commander was waiting, the runway lights were on. And he said, some special clearance has come from Delhi. Night flying has been cleared. You can take off now if you want. So we took off and we reached home by, Delhi, and we reached home by 11ish or so in the night. But see, and I have just explained to you another facet of Guruji. It was not that he was just blessing you for your healing. He was also blessing you for, in many other ways. He knew that he is coordinating with his superpowers to make sure that the runway is open. Now, during my, frequent visits to Guruji's ashram, and to seek his blessings, I got a chance to see a large number of VIPs who used to come. I met Prime Minister VP Singh, then ex-Prime Minister VP Singh, Mayawati, Bhajan Lal, the President of India at that time, and many, many other industrialists and other so-called VIPs who used to come to Guruji. Of course, when you came to Guruji, you're not a VIP. You are just one of these Sangat, and you just sat down and you sort of sought blessings through various means, when you came there. Many times Guruji would ask me to interact with them. Means he would say, Chopra, inanu le jao mere chamber, inana gallan kar. Gallan kar means narrate your stories to them, tell them what Guruji is all about, etc., etc. So once T.N. Session was there, he was the chief election commissioner, very, solid kind of a bureaucrat. He was standing on one corner with a copper vessel in his hand, had come to seek Guruji's blessing for something which I don't know. And then Guruji said, "Oh, Session khada hai, unna jaake gappa maar." So I also went and stood next to T.N. Session, who was standing very close to the gate. And I said to him, "I'm so and so, and Guruji has asked me to chit chat with you, and so I have come. और मैं आपको गुरुजी के बारे में बातें बताता." So then I interacted with the T.N. Session, and he was a little confused initially. He didn't know why ये गुरुजी क्या हैं, ये क्या होने वाला है यहाँ पे. But then I tried to give him my way of looking at the logic, how the gurus have got superpowers to, heal you. Similarly, when I went to, took Mayawati to that Guruji's chamber, she was very reluctant initially. She said, "No, I can't sit on the ground." I said, "Well, I am sitting on the ground. You don't have to sit on the ground, but I will sit on the ground and narrate you what I have been told to do. And if I am following orders, and if you do not wish to follow, you may not listen, but I will narrate." So this way, I found that different people had different approaches towards life. They had questioning approach towards Guruji. But the people who got connected among these so-called VIPs remained connected even today because they understood the power of Guruji, and that is something we all must understand. Another thing I want to tell you is that Guruji was extremely considerate. Since as a Fauji, I was often posted in the eastern sector. I was posted abroad for a few years. Whenever you came on your holiday to Delhi and then you went to seek blessings of Guruji, Guruji would be very considerate. Sometimes he would say, कितने दिन लिए आए हैं? मैं क्या सर 7 दिन लिए हमें की काम लिए आए हैं? मैं क्या जी बच्चे दी एडमिशन करानी है. He says, okay, come only twice during these 7 days to me, because rest of the day be do your own works. शाम ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸੀਨੀਅਰ ਅਫਸਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਲਈ, ਵਿਸਕੀ ਮੁਸਕੀ ਪੀ ਲਈ. Guruji was very clear and very considerate as to each one must live their own lives. And it was not only for considerate for us in this form, but also he will try and support the activities you have come for. You say, admission di koi problem to nahi hai. Have you got any problem? Then I'll try and, solve these problems for you. Similarly, when a lady was to leave Guruji's ashram late in the evening, Guruji would make sure that she is appropriately escorted, especially if she is going in an area where it's not so safe for ladies to be going alone at night. So once after Langar, I was sitting nearby to Guruji. One lady she came to seek permission of Guruji at around 10:15 to leave. So moment she touched Guruji's feet, Guruji said, nahi, haje nahi jana tu. Normally he would never stop her, because from Avalon Resorts on MG Road, she used to go to Gurgaon, and the Gurgaon Road those days was sort of not very well lit, and there was no metro, there was no habitation that side. So, but this particular day, Guruji said, nahi, haje koi jaldi nahi hai, Chopra baitha hai, ede naal galla maar. Now, I did not know that lady did not know me, and Guruji's order was, Chopra naal beh ke galla maar. So she came and sat next to me. She says she was much smarter than me, so she took the initiative, and she said, हाँ जी, आप कौन हो, आप कहाँ से हो? मैंने बताया, I am so and so. She says, from which place are you? I said, I am from Kapurthala. She said, oh, Kapurthala, very interesting. She says, मेरी तो वहाँ एक cousin रहती है. And then she tells me, I said, मैं क्या, Kapurthala is a very small place. मेरे को बताओ वो आपकी cousin कौन है? शायद मैं उनको जानता हूँ. So she gave me a name, and that happened to be my own mother. So now, see, I will tell you, take a little backflash about this story, because see how Guruji made two people sit next to each other who were very, very closely related but had never met in life. So I said, what's your name? And then she told me her name is Gogo. So I said, this is very interesting. He said, there's one Gogo I heard. When I was in class 6, my mother and I had gone to Calcutta, and we stayed in a house in where the family members were all taking one name. That name was Gogo. And I said, could that be you? She says, yes, that Gogo is me. So I said, since I was in class 6 till date, this name has been in my mind, because they were speaking such good things about this lady called Gogo. And now you're sitting next to me, and I find you are better than what I had heard about you. And you won't believe it. That lady Gogo, whose actual name is Deepika, she's still a big bhagat of Guruji. She and I, we are like a family. She's like a second mother to our children, because whenever I was posted elsewhere in the country, she would look after my children here in Delhi, because she was permanently in Delhi. So the point I'm trying to make is that Guruji had many, many ways of, connecting people. Guruji knew something much more than what, you and I can think of. We all know, all old Sangat remembers, and even the new Sangat knows that there used to be a fragrance which used to come out of Guruji's body. Now, it was not all the time, but many times there'll be a whiff of, rose smell, fragrance that used to come from the presence of Guruji. people who had got very well connected with Guruji get such fragrance often even today in their own homes without any rose being around. So this fragrance was, was something very, very peculiar. And those of you or those of us who have experienced that, it was something tremendous. बहुत बड़ी वो चीज थी. एक दिन क्या हुआ कि दोपहर को when we all were resting, my wife got a dream in which she saw Guruji, and she saw Guruji wearing half shirt, sneakers and trousers. So when she got up around 4:30 or so, she said, मेरे को गुरुजी नजर आए और वो उन्होंने हाफ शर्ट पहनी थी और ट्राउजर्स और स्नीकर्स पहने थे. मैंने कहा नहीं नहीं, गुरुजी को तो हमने ऐसे कभी देखा नहीं है. तो शी सेड चलो आज गुरुजी के यहाँ जरा आश्रम जल्दी जाते हैं. तो हम then we left home early. And when we landed at the ashram in Empire State, the door was still closed. So we waited outside. There was one more lady who had come early like us. फिर अचानक 5 बजे के करीब एक दरवाजा खुला आश्रम का और उसमें गुरुजी खड़े थे. खुद उन्होंने खोला अंदर से और गुरुजी ने हाफ शर्ट पहनी थी, ट्राउजर्स पहनी थी और स्नीकर्स पहने थे. माय गॉड, आई सेड दिस इज फैंटास्टिक. तो फिर हम गुरु जी का अंदर आ जाओ. सो गुरु जी क्लाइम्ड अप. देयर इज अ साइड बोर्ड लाइक यू हैव इन योर डाइनिंग रूम्स, साइड में था. तो गुरु जी उसके ऊपर जंप करके बैठ गए, चौकड़ी मार लिया और उसने मेरे को और मेरी वाइफ को ऐसे दोनों बाजुओं से पकड़ लिया. थोड़ी देर 4-5 मिनट बातें करते रहे. सो अगेन नाउ आई हैव शोन यू, टोल्ड यू. And then later on, I came to know there were many, many other people who had seen Guruji wearing half shirt and trousers and sneakers. And we were sort of, not the only people. In fact, many more people had, seen this. One more thing, I used to ask a lot of questions to Guruji just to clear my own mind, and so that will help me clear other people's mind. So I asked Guruji once. I said, Guruji, मैं आपके साथ अब इतने देर से जुड़ा हूँ, मैं देखता हूँ कि लोग आते हैं, आप उसको ब्लेसिंग करते हो, किसी को नहीं ब्लेसिंग करते हो, किसी को महीने बाद करते हो, किसी को साल बाद करते हो, मुझको इंस्टेंटली कर दिया था, कई औरों को भी इंस्टेंटली करते हो. इसका रैशनल क्या है, आप कैसे ये करते हैं गुरुजी? Guruji then explained to me. Now I thought that's very, very scientific way he explained. Guruji ने कहा कि आप हवाई जहाज उड़ाते हो, आपके जहाज में एक रेडार लगा हुआ है. तो आपका रेडार है ना, उसका एक एंटेना है, वो एक बीम भेजता है और वहां से कहीं से रिफ्लेक्ट आती है, तो आपको पता लग जाता है कि भाई आगे कोई है. तो कहते हैं कि हमारे गुरुओं के पास भी एक रेडार टाइप एंटेना है. कहते पहली बात तो हम जब रेडार की एंटेना से रे भेजते हैं तो हमको एक्सरे हो जाता है, हम दूसरे का एक्सरे कर लेते हैं, हमको पता लग जाता है कि this guy is ready for my blessings or not yet. Is he come with his heart and soul and mind here, or is he just come to test out the guru, or is he just come to see what goes on over here? So he says that is the first starting point for any type of healing. It's not, he says, guru. He says the starting point for healing is you, the individual. He says, he gave me another example. He says, जब आप घर पे आपको सिर में दर्द होती है तो आप एस्प्रिन खाता है, कोई डिस्प्रिन खाता है. कहते हैं 20-25 गोलियां हैं जिनकी केमिकल फॉर्मुलेशन बिल्कुल आइडेंटिकल है, मगर ब्रांड नेम्स डिफरेंट है. मगर फिर भी आपको जब सिर दर्द होता है तो आप कहते हो मैं तो डिस्प्रिन ही खाऊंगा, बिकॉज आपने अपने माइंड में एक फेथ बना लिया है कि डिस्प्रिन ही मुझको ठीक करती है. सो दैट पॉइंट व्हाट ही वाज इलस्ट्रेटिंग इज दैट यू हैव बिल्ड सम काइंड ऑफ अ फेथ इन यू for that particular tablet. So Guruji said that starting point for me to commence healing is that person ready to take the energy that I am going to pump into him, which will become a useful tool for his healing. So this is what Guruji said. I then asked him, I said, I find that you heal Faujis and doctors much faster than others. He says, two reasons. First, as far as Fauji is concerned, he at a very young age has been hammered, made disciplined. He is very, very clear in his mind. He's got a pure heart. He's not been corrupted by the outside society so much. At least those days it was not. Today the Fauji's may have also come onto the internet. But what he meant was that it's very important for the gurus to heal, is that you get a person who's ready to take the healing. And second, there was doctors. He says doctors are running a profession where they're trying to heal others, but yet they are finding that there are many doctors who need to come to healers like us or gurus, or to alternate means, because there is no solution for everything that a doctor wants in its own field. So this is what Guruji's explanation to me for this was. Guruji used to make many of us press his feet, or some people press his hands, shoulders, neck, in public, sitting, everybody's sitting, and he would ask somebody to come and he'll point to keep, means you press his feet. He made me do that many times. In fact, my wife and my daughters used to feel very envious that he's never called any one of us, but he calls you to press his feet. So I asked Guruji one day, I said, you are making selectively people to press your feet, not, and there are very few people. Then Guruji said, every time somebody presses his feet, arms, firstly, Guruji said that every time I'm healing somebody, I'm physically transferring energy. मैं अपनी energy दे रहा हूँ उस इंसान को, जिससे वो heal हो रहा है. I'm losing energy, and my body parts are tiring because of that loss of energy. I said, makes a lot of sense. Then he says, when I ask people to press, everybody who's coming to press is actually, I'm transferring energy to him. He's getting further healing. So he says, I have called only those people to press my feet who I think need my energy more. So this is the logic as to why some of the people were. And at the end of the day, Guruji used to say that he gets drained out, especially on the days when he has done lots of healing. That means there is a physical loss of energy for him. So that is something Guruji explained to me once. I'll tell you some other aspects of Guruji's life. Once there was some family from Rajasthan, some royal family, a lady and 3 daughters. They had come to Guruji. Guruji asked me, he says, "Inanu mere chamber chala ja, inanal galla maar." Anyway, I went with those 4 ladies. The 3 were girls were, of course, college going children, I think. Then I was just conversing with them, and then Guruji himself walked in. So I shut up, and then Guruji took charge of the situation. And then Guruji asked one of the girls, he said, "Tera college khatam ho gaya?" She says, "Haan, Guruji, final year da imtihan deta hai, te haje result nahi aaya." तो उसने कहा की सब्जेक्ट सीखे, she said eco honors. So he says, "चलो हुनी तेरा टेस्ट ले लेनी है." So Guruji asked her 3 questions from her previous year syllabus, not that year's syllabus, but previous year syllabus. Firstly, for Guruji to ask questions on eco honors to a child who is her previous year syllabi itself indicates that, okay, there is a different level of knowledge that Guruji is possessing. And all the 3 questions he asked, not a single she could reply. So for Guruji to ask such difficult questions, but that girl said, yes, these questions were from previous year's course, but I'm sorry, I could not reply. So the point, I'm not, whether the girl passed or didn't pass, I do not know. But the fact is that Guruji had, so many other facets than just healing. He was so, knowledgeable about this. One more thing Guruji mentioned to me, once a lady came, that is when Guruji was still in Greater Kailash. A lady came from the neighborhood, some house she was staying in Greater Kailash itself, and she came, she was some 85 years old lady. She walked in, she was having difficulty walking. She came and touched Guruji's feet and slammed back, sat down there itself. And she said to Guruji, गुरु जी गोडे हुण नहीं चलदे, हुण मैं मेरे गोडे गए, मेरे गोडे ठीक करो. So she spoke like this. Guruji just laughed and Guruji said, किन्नी उम्र हो गई आंटी तेरी? उन्होंने कहा 85 years. कि हुण 85 च नहीं गोडे तेरे ढिले हो गए तो फिर कद हो गए? So then Guruji asked her 3 questions. She says, गुरुबानी पढ़ती हैं? कहंदी नहीं. ओम भवासा कहनी है घर च? कहंदी नहीं. Then some other thing that, okay, आकी अगरबत्ती जलानी, something like that he asked. All 3 she said नहीं. And then what Guruji said, हुण जा कर इन्हां तीनों चों एक काम कर ले, रोज करया कर, भगवान दा नाम लिया कर ते आपे ही गोडे ठीक हो जाने. हुण मैं 85 ईयर दी लेडी जिहड़ा भगवान दा नाम भी नहीं लैण नूं तैयार हैगी ते मैं ओहदे इत्थे गोडे नहीं बदल देने. So the point he was conveying, Guruji was conveying to her was that don't just come for the sake of coming. Connect with God. You can connect from home. I can give you blessings from here if you want, but try to learn to seek those blessings. In Guruji's time, there were a lot of late night sessions that Guruji used to hold. When langar was over, most people he'll let them go, then he'll leave some 15, 20, 30 maybe people who'll stay on with him late in the night till maybe 1 o'clock. So I had a few occasions to be blessed by Guruji choosing me to carry on till late. And then in the late night, there will be songs, there will be some dance, there will be some, he'll be in a sort of lighter frame. He will be able to talk to us a little more freely. He would, some food will be served, some parathas will be made, some, something else will happen, and lots of things would go on. And that is the time we all got a chance to understand Guruji a little more clearly, because he would speak a little more, and then, some more clarity would, come to us. One thing Guruji, mentioned to me, when one of the industrialists used to come very often, he had some standard old age problem, and he was expecting Guruji, he was pushing Guruji to bless him quickly so that he becomes good. Now, then Guruji explained once to a few of us who were sitting next to him. He says, when in our own lives, when we have illness, हमको कुछ बीमारी होती है तो हम अपना मेडिसिन बॉक्स घर में जो पड़ा है उसको निकालते हैं, गोली खाते हैं. Normally we are all right. Few occasions ऐसे होते हैं कि after 2-3 days of taking that routine medicine in your, inside your medicine box, then all of a sudden you find that, you are not getting cured. Then you go to call up the family physician, then he gives you some medicine, then that medicine also doesn't work. After that, the next step is, he says, okay, now you go get the following test done, you do some tests, nothing happens. Then he says, no, I need to refer you to specialist. You go to specialist, you take an appointment, you sit in the queue, you pay some hefty amount of money, and then he makes you do some more tests. After all this cycle carries on for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then you find nothing is working. That is the time when you come to a guru. He says, you have spent 5, 6 months of all experimenting, and then now you come to a guru, and then when you come to guru, you want instant blessings. You want a magic wand. You want somebody to put his hand on your head and say, cure me now. So he says, please try and understand us. He says, have some patience. Here, no appointment, no fees. You come at your own time. You get Guruji's blessings through Chai Prasad, Mani Prasad, Langar Prasad. You're listening to free bhajans. You're being blessed. You're sitting in an environment where blessings are flowing all over. Energy is coming to you from all directions. So I thought, what nice thing Guruji mentioned to us, that for heaven's sake, come at your own pace, come at your own time. You have not feeling well, listen to bhajans at your own home. I mean, take blessings in 100 ways, but don't do this 6 months you were going helter-skelter, and now you want come take, blessings instantly from, from Guruji. Many other, at least 4 or 5 guys told me, it happened with me personally, that once I wanted to reach Guruji by X amount of time, and you had to drive a long way. I have had an occasion when I drove 20, traffic lights and route, all were green, non-stop, because I was going to Guruji's place. It happened not to me, it's happened to some other people also. So what I'm saying is, there were so many things happening in our lives. Okay, I think I have said a lot. Let me now just narrate my last satsang. With Guruji's blessings, I became an Air Marshal in the Air Force. He extremely blessed me. Not only that, even after I retired from the Air Force, Air Marshal, within a month, I got another government post which saw me till 65. Then again, Guruji got me in another government, some important post with the National Green Tribunal, etc. So what I'm saying is, Guruji's blessings, Guruji in 2007 moved off to heaven to start blessing us from there, but Guruji's blessings have been all of us all through. In 2012, when I was serving Air Marshal, I had gone to Gwalior. I happened to be a Mirage 2000 pilot, and it is traditional for senior officers, when you go to your parent base, you go and do some flying. So I, went to do a sortie in a Mirage 2000. And the moment we took off, it was a 2-seater. There was the CEO of the squadron who was flying with me. And since I was a pioneer, I would do most of the flying in the flight. So we were at a height of around, after 5 minutes of flight, at a height of around 11,000 feet. There was a huge bang in the aircraft somewhere from the back. And soon we saw that the indications in the cockpit, all the gauges were showing that the engine has quit, and the temperatures had gone up. There was some fire warning light, etc., etc. So we knew now that we will not be able to. It's a single engine aircraft. We can't stay on in the aircraft. ज़्यादा देर रह नहीं सकते जहाज के अंदर, और हमको अभी निकलना पड़ेगा. निकलना means you have to eject. So we immediately started tightening our straps and all. Ejection is a very, very serious business, especially for a person like me who was 59 years, 2 months old. Normally, anybody ejecting beyond 40 years age can have serious spine or neck injuries. So the two things that came in my mind at that time, the few seconds that we had in this period, and one was, of course, that I told myself, is this, boy, this is your test of your life's training, and therefore you have to just do it correctly, everything. And the second came that, Guruji, this is a test of your blessings now, and your and our close, years of association, and we are going to do a great job. And then next thing is to pull this handle of the ejection seat, and you won't believe it. Most of you won't know what an ejection is. In a period of 2.5 seconds, 19 rockets or cartridges fire in a particular sequence in 2.5 seconds. And they have to fire in that correct sequence. Then only you will go out, you will be safely out of the aircraft, and then, parachute will open. Everything will happen automatically. And in that 2.5 seconds, the forces on your body are so high that you are totally blacked out, and you can't because the whole blood has drained out from your head into your feet. So that's what happens. But after 2.5 seconds, then the parachute opens, you see the beautiful earth below you, whatever is the terrain, and then that's the time you say, oh, thank you, Guruji, extremely blessed, that I'm alive, and you've been so kind, and, came back. And thereafter, of course, many things happened to me thereafter with Guruji's blessing. To wrap up my satsang, I want to mention that for the new Sangat especially, that every one of us has to establish a one-to-one contact with Guruji at your own level. We all meet, we all listen to each other, but ultimately the connect has to be between each one of us and Guruji. In what form that connect will be, whether it'll be you will have Guruji's swaroop or pictures as you see behind me here, we have Guruji's picture in every room in our house. So, everywhere Guruji is doing his blessings in some form or the other. Uh, all of us know that Guruji is, there's so much of music that bhajans that are there all over the world. They are available in all forms. And listening to those Guruji's bhajans early in the morning will bring peace and happiness for you. It'll bring get your day to become very, very important. When I was with Guruji, I always looked into his eyes. I thought it's very important to make eye contact, because Guruji would then give you direct blessings. It was one always wanted to sit not too far from where Guruji was, because he was radiating energy, and you wanted to get that energy, as quickly and as well as you could. Great experiences. It was great having joined Guruji. Great to be part of the huge Sangat that is built up. Even today, when I go to the Bada Mandir and I find that you have to park your car a few kilometers away, and from there, when you get into another car or a bus, there's lots and lots of new Sangat. And, I immediately start narrating a satsang moment I sit in the vehicle, because I know in the 2.5 minutes of drive from the main road to Guruji's ashram is good enough for many of the people to get motivated, so that when they spend time inside the mandir, they are so much, convinced of what's the kind of blessings they are going to get. With that, I'm going to once again thank Boston Sangat. I thank everybody who's listening to this satsang. I'm going to seek on each one of you's behalf blessings of Guruji to all of you, to me, to all our families, and may Guruji continue to bless all of us. Jai Guruji, Jai Guruji.
Jai Guruji.